Where the gas fumes are coming from.
I'm Bob Costantini live in Scranton, where they're still testing. We'll tell you about it.
Joe Zone has all the sports, and Tom Clark will have the word on the snow.
All next on Newswatch 16 Update.
Motivation turns to murder tomorrow. In your car, listen to Newswatch 16 on WKRZ AM 1340.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Joe Zone on sports. This is the Newswatch 16 Update.
Good evening. Special testing crews are right now working in Scranton trying to find out where gas fumes are coming from.
It was yesterday when a bank and a bar were closed and a home was evacuated because of the fumes. Night Beat reporter Bob Costantini is live right now in Scranton checking out what's happening tonight. Bob, how about it?
Nolan, they're still testing the tanks here at the Amico station at the intersection of Music Street and Meadow Avenue in Scranton. They're also testing at that Texaco station over there, and they have just started to test the tanks at that Exxon station, which is also a mini mart. Now, these experts are here to find where a supposed gasoline leak is coming from. Gasoline fumes below ground have forced the closing of this beer distributorship, the pub below, and one of the houses down the hill there has had to be evacuated, as well as a bank is also closed. Now, the 3 service stations are closed, but right in the middle of all this, still open across the street, is Chick's Diner. The diner is right next to the Texaco station. One owner tells us when the barriers went up around the stations, many customers walked out of the diner, and nighttime business is down.
Well, this being one of the most busy intersections in the area, it's drastically affected our business, really.
How much so?
In half, I'd say, at least.
Customers eating at the diner can't help but be concerned. The apparent gas leak is being talked about by everyone here.
Did you think twice about coming up here?
Yes, I did think twice about coming up. No, we were here all day long. The fire inspectors and gas inspectors. I usually eat here.
Does it scare you?
A little bit, yeah, I would say.
Though the chance of explosion is remote, according to those doing the testing, just the thought it might happen is apparently keeping people away from here. Now, the experts tell us that they will be here throughout the night, and they expect to have their results later on in the morning, perhaps late in the morning. Bob Costantini, live with the Instacam in Scranton. Nolan, Karen?
Okay, thanks, you, Bob. As we've been telling you, a problem with contaminated water has thousands of PG&W customers boiling their drinking water as a precaution against Giardiasis. So far, 217 people in Lackawanna and Luzerne counties are diagnosed as having the severe intestinal disease. More than a dozen lawmakers got together today in Jenkins Township to find out what's being done about the contamination at PG&W's Springbrook Reservoir. Most are calling for quicker action on the part of PG&W, but at least one state lawmaker says the water customers could also take action.
If PG&W has been mandated by law to provide safe, clean drinking, you are not responsible to pay for it if they're giving you a product which is not what they're supposed to be delivering.
PG&W officials say they're considering a plan that would bypass the contaminated Springbrook Reservoir, but they say they need more time to work out those details.
On Newswatch 16 at 6 tonight, we ask those of you in the affected area if you're still boiling your water or drinking bottled water rather than taking a chance on getting Giardiasis. Apparently, most of you are still taking the precautions. We asked the same question over 2 weeks ago. Tonight, 88% of you said yes, compared to 72% on December 26th. Only 12% of the callers in our unscientific poll said no, they aren't boiling now. 28% had said no on December 26th.
While most of you who called into our poll say you are boiling or buying bottled water for drinking, there's some concern about what happens to the water you don't boil, like what you use for washing or household chores. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci found out what happens to that water and whether it can spread Giardiasis in other water supplies.
People have been conscientious about boiling their water since the cyst problem began. But the fact is that 98% of all the water used in contaminated households isn't being boiled, mainly the water that's used in the bathroom. And that means cyst-contaminated sewage is being pumped into the Susquehanna, where cities downstream use the water. Could that cause the Giardiasis to spread? Fortunately, state and federal officials don't think so.
And I can't rule out that possibility. Possibility does exist, but I wouldn't consider it a major concern at this time.
Communities that take water from the Susquehanna River, fortunately, are filtered. That was our first large plus. Berwick is filtered, Danville is filtered, Sunbury is filtered.
But if some cities have drinking water systems that can filter parasites, why don't all systems? Officials say that one reason is because Pennsylvania is one of the few states in the country that hasn't met the primary requirements of the Federal Clean Water Act.
We are one of the 5 remaining states in the country that do not have primacy for safe drinking water.
And what does that mean?
It means that everybody has it except us.
State officials hope the current problems with Giardiasis will spur funding for $300 million worth of improvements in the state water system. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16.
Still ahead, the FBI stuck in the cabbage patch.
But first, our own meteorologist Tom Clark will go out to his cold backyard.
Oh, boy.
Tom, how cold is it?
It's like inside an icebox out there, Nolan. Plenty cold, and there's more snow in the forecast, folks. We'll talk about that when we come back.
She was determined to learn, but ended up dead.
What happened to Elizabeth last night?
Yeah, guy no busted in gunning for me. There was quite a battle. While he was trying to carve me up, Elizabeth shot him in the back with his own gun.
Where's the gun?
Oh, I've got that safe with her fingerprints on it. Just in case you might try to think of some way to pin it onto me.
Robert Taylor and Lana Turner in Johnny Eager. Tomorrow's $16,000 movie at 4 here on NEP 16.
There's some good news tonight for citrus lovers. If you're worried about that Florida frost at Christmas time and its effect on orange and grapefruit prices, relax. A Scranton produce wholesaler says the Florida crop was not badly damaged after all. Growers lost about 1/4 of the crop, so prices, which now are 20 to 25% higher than normal, should stay there. Also, no citrus shortages are expected in local food stores, according to our source.
Well, that's pretty good news. Well, let's go out to the backyard and see if Tom Clark has any good weather news. Tom?
Yeah. Well, I have good news for the skiers once again. More snow in the forecast, but nothing too heavy as I see it now. Plenty cold once again in the backyard, only 1 degree warmer now than it was this time last night, but let me show you the temperature and you'll see what I mean. Plenty cold. We have a half moon overhead and the reading is down to 10 degrees. That's cold enough. Humidity 52%, the wind east at 5. The barometer is way up high. Set yours to read 30.71 inches and it's still rising just a bit. Range in temperature here today 20 and 0 last night. Normals, look at that, 32 and 18. We're well below that. Records 54 and 10 below, set just 3 years ago. In the background, you have a live shot from downtown Scranton tonight. Not too busy down there tonight. The Newswatch 16 color satellite picture shows clouds to the south, no problem there, but we have a huge chunk of cold Arctic air that has spilled southward over the northeastern part of the country. It's in firm control of our weather again tonight, but as winds blow counterclockwise or clockwise around the center of that high pressure system, it's bringing in some moisture from the Atlantic, and ahead of the storm system, some moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. You can see the clouds ahead of that storm, and it's tracking up towards Pennsylvania. It's not very strong, but I think it will bring us some snow here late tomorrow and tomorrow night, but nothing too deep as I see it now. Here we go. The forecast for the balance of tonight, fair and frigid outside. Look at that low up in New Milford, 6 below by morning, 2 below in Harvey's Lake, about 4 in Mifflinville, 4 also in Pottsville, and about 5 in Avis. It's out there in Clinton County. Here's your forecast for tomorrow. The sky turns gray. Okay, and then snow on the way. After that, I think by late in the afternoon or tomorrow evening, the snow should start, and it should continue lightly through most of tomorrow night. I think maybe an inch or two could fall, but we'll have more on that tomorrow morning. 23 Archibald, 24 the high in Shaytown. Hello down there just outside of Nanticoke. 23 in Jim Thorpe, 24 in Sunbury, the high tomorrow in Williamsport, 22 degrees. Southeast wind will pick up at about 17 miles per hour, a bit on the gusty side in the afternoon tomorrow. Now, Friday 13th. Good luck. Shows on the reflexes average, your mood average, and minimal effect on the way you think and feel by the weather tomorrow. I'm going to use my trusty icicle here to point out the board. Here we go. Look at the size of this thing. Clear tonight for the low. Snow coming in late tomorrow, probably after 4 o'clock as I see it now. 24 the high in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Some leftover flurries on Saturday, and Sunday looks pretty good at this point with temperatures below normal. So that's it, gang. A little snow coming tomorrow night, but I don't think it's going to be too heavy as I see it now.
Grandma, what long fingernails you have.
Wow, this is good for tall drinks.
We used to eat those when we were kids. That's
right.
Not a very good idea, though.
I remember that, but it's not a good idea.
No.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Tom. There's a new train in town tonight, and it could mean a new beginning for rail freight service in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Skycam 16 got this bird's eye view of the old D&H train as it was winding through Lackawanna County. The special run on the rails from Binghamton to Hanover Township was to point out that Guilford Transportation Industries now owns the old D&H tracks. Back on the ground, dignitaries stopped at the Taylor Yards where John Carbon worked for 30 years.
When I first started, we used to turn in the spikes, you know. And today they got everything is machinery and whatnot. What a big difference.
It's hoped the train track takeover will help bring in more freight business to our area. Coming up, the case of the Cabbage Patch lookalikes.
Plus, a couple of state record holders go head-to-head. Joe Zone with that story and all the scores on the 16 sports screen when we come back.
Moment. This is the moment.
Brides, don't forget to register for WNEP's Big Bridal Fair. Time's running out for the most extravagant bridal fair around.
The morning of your life, it's the time for bridal fair.
Register for your free invitation at Wyoming Homes or Gus Genetti's Best Western Motor Inn.
Well, it was a little different tonight for one of those basketball games, right, Joe?
A girls' game. Two girls had 5,000 points scored between them.
Wow.
What a story, what a great game, and two exciting basketball players. What happens when the two greatest scorers in the history of Pennsylvania girls basketball play against one another? That's what we wanted to know, and that's why we were in Mount Carmel tonight. Marie Fantana Rose of Mount Carmel, she's the all-time scorer. Michelle Swantner of St. Clair, she was the #1 girl until Fantana Rosa passed, and there she is scoring right there, Swantner. Now the Lady Tornadoes get the ball to Fantana Rosa, but watch Swantner there to take it away. She goes in for the layup, and don't tell me this wasn't a little personal battle tonight. Now, for Mount Carmel, Fantana Rosa gets in gear, and the 15-footer, and that's a pretty little shot. You can see why she's got over 2,500 points. She does it again. Same play, same shot, same result. Then she grabs a rebound, gets it up, and good. Fantana Rosa scored 33 tonight. Swantner 34. Mount Carmel won the game by 12-2. Great state record holders. Okay, boys basketball scoreboard, let's get to it. Number 13, Valley West won. Bishop Hoban over Bishop O'Reilly. Elsewhere, Hazleton and Coughlin the winners tonight. Division II, Myers and Crestwood won their games. Hanover area and GAR both winners. Northern Tier East, Northeast Bradford, 15th ranked, beat Canton. Central State, Bucktail, 53, Belfont, 49. Centennial League, Palmerton and Stroudsburg the winners. West Branch, Montoursville over Bald Eagle Nittany. In the Mid-Penn, Line Mountain and Central Columbia both won their games. Okay, college basketball, Kings home tonight with Allentown. The Monarchs in the yellow uniforms pick up the action at Kings inside. Now number 34, Steve Bates, dishes off to 50, Ed Moyer inside off the glass. Now for Kings, Chris Feistel hits from outside, and he's got 2. For Allentown, number 52 is Mark Singer. He gets through a couple Monarchs and hits the jumper right there. Now, 22, Rick Southcott gets by number 34, Steve Bates. Nice move, look at that. drives, hits the pull-up jumper. Allentown beats King 74-70. The Kings women were knocked off by Susquehanna. Now, let's check the big boys. Look at this upset. Number 4, Georgetown, beaten by Villanova, double overtime, 65-63. Number 7, Houston over Texas Tech, the final there, 88-66. Top-ranked North Carolina in Maryland tonight with the 5th-ranked Terrapins. North Carolina in blue, Maryland in white. It was early, or actually a lot of lead changes. Bates hits and Coleman hits right there with the stuff. 32-31 North Carolina at the half. But then Perkins does his work. Watch the alley-oop inside. Bang! Man, that's the easy way to go. Perkins again. There he goes. Bang again. Maryland led briefly, but then watch Michael Jordan do his thing inside and underneath. And he is so fine, so pretty. 74-62 North Carolina holds on to win that game. Now, let's go to the NBA and check the scoreboard at Los Angeles over Kansas City, 95-89. Portland beat Houston, the final there, 120-117. Okay, high school wrestling scoreboard, lots of it, and Troy and Allentown Allen, the winners in those matches. Elsewhere, Bethlehem Liberty and Bethlehem Catholic. Northampton and Wilson won their games, their matches actually. Nazareth and Palisades. Salisbury and Northern Lehigh. Northwestern and Notre Dame Green Pond. Palmerton and Jersey Shore. Mifflinburg got theirs in. Hughesville, South Williamsport, no score. No more scores there because those people just didn't call us and we couldn't contact them. Naughty, naughty. Stroudsburg and Millville won their matches. Danville and Selinsgrove. Athens and Wyalusing. Elsewhere, Canton and Wyoming area. Sayre and Montoursville. Juniata and Middleburg, no score. Upper Dauphin over West Snyder. Canton beat Towanda, Southern Columbia winner. Berwick and Central Columbia. Mansfield State College. Liberty and Western Wayne. Millersburg and Jersey Shore. High school wrestling tonight. Cliff Stout won't be Terry Bradshaw's backup anymore. He signed on today with the USFL's Birmingham team. Okay, let's go to the NHL quickly. You see the Rangers knocked off Philly. Quebec beat New Jersey. Montreal beaten by the New York Islanders. Let's check the ski report for tomorrow. 11 slopes at Big Boulder with 4 lifts, 28 to 40 base. Camelback 20 slopes, 7 lifts, 20 to 40 inch base. Elk Mountain 17 slopes, 5 lifts, 24 inch, 52 base. Jack Frost 18 slopes and 6 lifts. Shawnee 15 slopes, 4 lifts, 25 to 45 inch base. Tanglewood 7 slopes, 3 lifts, 15 to 30 inch base. Mast Hope 9 slopes, 2 lifts, 12 inch to 36 inch base. And no fish and game forecast tonight as you look at Big Boulder because I'm out of time. We'll give the fishies and the gamies a break tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All that natural powder, too. The skiers like that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks. Still ahead, the counterfeit Cabbage Patch caper.
We'll call in the FBI to crack the case when we come back. Finally tonight, we told you not too long ago that we would not have any more Cabbage Patch doll stories. But this one, folks, is serious. In fact, the FBI has stepped in.
Well, that's right. As Josh Howell reports from New York, the feds think they've caught the crooks who are cashing in on counterfeit Cabbage Patch kids.
The FBI has handled strange cases before, but this is a strange one. A counterfeit Cabbage Patch doll ring.
The individual that we arrested in New Jersey claimed that he had already sold 30,000 of these counterfeit dolls.
This is one of the counterfeit Cabbage Patch dolls, which we're allegedly selling for $12. This is the real thing, which is selling for $8 or $10 more if you can find one. Can you find any differences between the two? Well, the real doll has dimples. The fake does not. The real one has a navel. The fake does not. The real one has thumbs. The fake does not. And on the neck of the real one is a trademark, which is difficult to show on camera, but it is there. The FBI agents moved in on this novelty store on Broadway and seized perhaps 1,000 counterfeit Cabbage Patch dolls, carrying them out by the case. And inside they arrested Mr. Bendar Wu, who is charged with allegedly selling the dolls to an undercover investigator.
Charge them with violation of the federal copyright statute, which carries a maximum penalty of a $30,000 fine or 1 year in jail.
Josh Howell for ABC News, New York.
$30,000 fine, but he sold them for $12 a piece. He brought in $360,000.
Jeez, I can't figure that one out.
I figured it out.
The dimples, though. The dimples are a dead giveaway. That's our report for tonight.
Next to Nightline, U.S. relations with China.
For the team, thanks for being with us, and good luck tomorrow.